Have you ever been so afraid of something that it quietly controlled your entire life? Imagine inheriting everything you ever dreamed of, only to discover that the one thing you must face is the very thing that terrifies you the most. This is the unforgettable story of a woman who owned a travel empire but couldn't even look at the ocean without her heart racing. What happened next changed not only her future, but also the lives of countless people she had never met. And it all began with one act of kindness from someone who had every reason to walk away. Before we begin, please take a moment to subscribe to Spread Kindness, like this video, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Every kind word you share helps this channel grow and reminds the world that kindness is still alive. Sophia was one of the youngest CEOs in America. At just 34 years old, she inherited one of the country's largest travel companies after her grandfather passed away. The business owned luxury cruise lines, beach resorts, and vacation packages that helped millions of families create unforgettable memories. To everyone else, Sophia seemed successful, confident, and fearless. But she carried a secret she had hidden for more than 20 years. When she was 12 years old, she survived a terrible boating accident that took the life of her mother. Ever since that day, the sight of deep water filled her with fear. She avoided beaches, refused to board ships, and never spoke about the painful memory. Her executives expected her to lead the company's newest luxury cruise launch in Florida. Reporters were waiting. Investors were excited. But Sophia couldn't even step onto the dock. Instead, she stood frozen, unable to move. As people whispered around her, she quietly turned away. Not far from the harbor, a black single father named Marcus was repairing fishing boats. He worked long hours to provide for his 10-year-old daughter, Ava. Life had never been easy after his wife passed away from cancer, but Marcus refused to let bitterness enter his heart. He believed every person deserved kindness, even strangers. He noticed the elegantly dressed woman standing alone near the parking lot with tears in her eyes. Most people assumed she was wealthy and didn't need help. Marcus thought differently. He walked over with a gentle smile. "Are you okay?" he asked. Sophia quickly wiped away her tears. "I'm fine." Marcus smiled softly. "You don't have to pretend." Something about his calm voice made her feel safe. For the first time in years, she admitted the truth. "I'm terrified of the ocean." Marcus looked toward the water. "It can be scary," he said. "But sometimes what hurts us isn't the water. It's the memory we carry." His words stayed with her. The next day, Sophia returned. Marcus was teaching local children how to fish safely. He invited her to watch. She stayed for hours. She laughed as the children celebrated catching tiny fish. She watched Marcus patiently encourage every child, especially those who were afraid. He never mocked fear. He respected it. Over the following weeks, Sophia visited again and again. She learned about Marcus's life. He woke before sunrise every morning. He packed Ava's school lunch. He worked all day repairing boats. Then he volunteered on weekends teaching free water safety classes because he never wanted another family to experience the pain of losing someone at sea. Sophia was amazed. Here was a man with so little, giving so much. One afternoon, Ava asked Sophia a simple question. "Have you ever been on a boat with someone who made you feel safe?" Sophia realized she never had. Marcus smiled. "Maybe that's where we start." He invited her onto a small boat that never left the dock. She hesitated. Her hands shook. Her breathing became fast. Marcus didn't rush her. He simply stood beside her. "You don't have to be brave all at once," he said. "You only have to take one small step." After several long minutes, Sophia stepped aboard. Nothing happened. The world didn't fall apart. The fear was still there. But now hope stood beside it. Over the next several months, Marcus patiently helped her face the ocean little by little. Sometimes they simply watched the waves. Sometimes they floated near the shore. Sometimes they talked for hours while the sun disappeared beyond the horizon. Slowly, the ocean became less frightening. Sophia also began seeing her company differently. She realized the business focused on luxury but ignored many struggling coastal communities. She decided to change that. She launched scholarships for children who wanted careers in marine science. She funded free swimming lessons in low-income neighborhoods. She created jobs for local fishermen during the off-season. She partnered with organizations that protected oceans and cleaned beaches. Many executives complained. These programs won't increase profits, one board member argued. Sophia smiled. Kindness creates value you can't measure on a spreadsheet. Meanwhile, Marcus never asked for money or favors. He continued fixing boats every day. One morning, Sophia surprised him. "I'd like you to become our director of community programs." Marcus laughed. "I'm not a businessman." "No," she replied. "You're something much harder to find. You're a good man." He accepted, not because of the salary, but because it allowed him to help even more families. Together, they transformed the company. Employees began volunteering. Cruise guests participated in beach cleanups. Vacation packages included opportunities to support local communities. The business grew faster than anyone expected. Customers weren't just buying trips anymore. They were becoming part of something meaningful. A year later, Sophia stood once again at the same Florida harbor. This time, thousands gathered to celebrate the launch of the company's newest cruise ship. Reporters remembered the day she couldn't step onto the dock. Now they watched as she confidently walked aboard. Before the ship departed, she invited Marcus and Ava onto the stage. She told everyone the truth. "I thought success meant hiding my fears. But a kind stranger taught me that healing begins when someone chooses compassion instead of judgment." The crowd erupted in applause. Marcus looked embarrassed by the attention. Ava hugged her father proudly. As the ship sailed into the open sea, Sophia stood on the deck with tears in her eyes. Not tears of fear. Tears of gratitude. She looked at Marcus. "Thank you." He smiled. "You already had the courage. You just needed someone to remind you." Years later, people would remember Sophia as the CEO who transformed an entire travel company through compassion. But she always said the real hero wasn't the woman who inherited a business. It was the father who chose kindness when nobody was watching. Because sometimes the greatest leaders don't wear expensive suits. Sometimes they carry toolboxes, raise children alone, and quietly change lives one kind act at a time. If this story touched your heart, remember that kindness doesn't require wealth, power, or perfect circumstances. It only asks for a willing heart. The smallest act of compassion can help someone overcome fears they have carried for years. Wherever you are today, choose kindness, offer hope, and never underestimate the difference your gentle words can make. Thank you for watching, and until next time on Spread Kindness, keep spreading love, hope, and kindness wherever life takes you.